Oh, he said live. I thought he said a different word.
See, are we on?
Yeah, we're on.
Okay. The good news is, Tanner, I haven't said anything stupid or a bad word.
So clicking the button now.
Yeah, I was ready, and then we're
Owen waits for some kind of jingle or something like that to happen.
Yeah, we're used to. So Rotman is our producer today, filling in for Ryan. Ryan usually plays a drop, saying we're live.
Tanner usually doesn't start drinking until after the pregame show, but now apparently
when he said live, the way he said it, I thought he muttered the F word, which meant we weren't live yet because something wasn't going.
No.
And so then he goes, "Wait, you're going to do a cold open?" And I was just like,
"What happened to that little banner thing that we play? Is that next?"
Yes.
Oh, see,
you ready for that?
I've only been here a year and a half.
Would you like that now?
I'd like to hear. I like
All right,
that.
Tanner,
part.
let's start the show.
Can we listen to that?
This is the DLLS Stars Pregame Show as we welcome you inside the lounge studio. I'm Owen Newkirk. He's Craig Ludwig. Sam Nessler will be joining us momentarily unless he's already connected, in which case...
Or on the IR.
Who knows what? Tanner Rotman is our producer today. Ryan Vodders is off today because he had to trade. He filled in for Mavs earlier, so thank you, Tanner, for being such a good teammate. And Ryan... we miss you, but we also like Tanner a lot. So let's get into this. When Sam is ready, by the way, Sam, just join us. He said he's been calling. Okay, well.
It could have been something on
They're going to troubleshoot, Luds. We're going to go ahead and start talking. I'll get you to the lineup news in a minute because I don't want to steal all of Sam's thunder. He was at the Glenn Gulletson media availability, and we'll get into that with him. But let's talk about Jason Robertson as he will play his 400th career NHL game today. 426 points in 399 games, 183 goals, 243 assists. He ranks third in franchise history for most points through 400 career games, and he still hasn't hit that until today. Bobby Smith, 458. Neil Broughton, 440. Robo, 426. Third most. By the way, Mike Modano, I did look it up. Somebody asked me earlier today because I posted it on Twitter. 411. Very good start.
Yeah. Speaking of Bobby Smith, this takes me back in my time capsule.
It does.
You know what his nickname was?
What?
Swoop.
It wasn't Smitty, was it? It was Swoop?
It was Swoop.
Why was it Swoop?
Why was I? Funny you should ask. Smitty had a way of coming up through the neutral zone, and he was swooping all over the place. So he could beat the same guy 3 times before he got to the offensive blue line. He'd beat him this way, then he'd circle back behind him this way, then he'd come up here. So his nickname was Swoop. And
I love it.
I remember the time Smitty got hit in the face with a puck, too. That was kind of the no helmet kind of things, and he got it, too. So anyway, but what a great player. And a Stanley Cup winner.
And we put up a lot of points, a lot of offense. Sam Nessler joins us now as we're talking about Jason Robertson playing his 400th career NHL game today. Sam, the one stat I just gave Luds was he's third in franchise history in terms of most points in his first 400 career games. He also is 5th highest amongst U.S.-born players all time in their first 400 games in some very elite company, and he is scoring at a rapid pace right now.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I think we talked about it after the post-game show last game on Friday. Once he gets going, it's hard to stop him, and I think everyone right now has February Winter Olympics break circled and wondering if that man is going to be on Team USA because it's hard to leave him off. I know there's a lot of good players, but it's hard to leave a guy off that can score at that clip when he gets hot. And if he's hot rolling into the deadline, why not use it? The other thing I'm noticing, boys, is there's a Christmas tree behind you. That's a beauty, eh?
I was trying to think. Squirrel. He wasn't in the studio on Friday either, so he didn't notice the Christmas tree. Well, Squirrel.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Squirrel is very good. Sam, you were at the press availability for Glenn Gulletson about almost a half an hour ago now. Tell us the update, lineup news, and what you learned from that.
Yeah, finally for Stars fans, a bit of good news. Ilya Lyubushkin is healthy and will play today. He hasn't played. He didn't go on that trip to the 4-game trip out to Canada. Been rehabbing a lower body injury. He's going to return. Vladislav Polyachonok will be the scratch on defense. So for once in a while, they will have an extra defenseman on this roster. But good to see Lyubushkin back. They said he's been ready to go. Rehabbing really hard. His injury looked like a lower body, maybe foot type of low leg injury, and Goldson said it was tough for him, but he was rehabbing hard, ready to get back in. So Casey DeSmith will start in goal tonight as well. Casey's been great. We don't have to even repeat that. We assume he'll be good again tonight. But the other side of the injury updates is we asked about Matthew Shane, and I asked Glenn Goldson if he's specifically medically cleared and what they're waiting on, right? Because it's been kind of a back and forth in between. Goldson said, technically, medically, he's okay. He's cleared to play, is the way he said it. However, he still has lingering effects that are coming up here and there, as we've talked about on the show a bunch of times. Having some symptoms, he has a good day, then he has a not so good day. So he said until those start to go away completely, he can't play, no matter if he's technically medically cleared or not. And the other side of it is he needs more conditioning. Glenn Goldson said straight up, they've been skating him pretty hard. It's been tough getting him back up to speed because he wasn't able to do, unlike Jamie Benn, it wasn't like he wasn't allowed to do anything. But if you're having effects, as soon as again, we don't know what the injury was, but as soon as you have effects of what we believe the injury is, you don't push it anymore. You're done for the day. So it's been tough for him to build up his conditioning. So those are kind of the two things that we're waiting on here in order to get him back in the lineup. As Golson said, he's close. And then finally, we finally asked about Adam Ernie because we forgot to ask about him the last couple times. Ernie actually had a surgery. I believe that he was rocking a full leg brace. So I'm not sure if that's a knee or what it was specifically, but he did have a successful surgery. And Goldson said he's been starting his rehab and he's had a few good days here. So nothing close. It's not like he's, a few days away like the other guys. But he is rehabbing and had a surgery and is on his way back. So some updates there from Adam Ernie, but nothing good in terms of those other players sitting along there with Harley and Lundqvist as well.
It's a tough one for Ernie because with the injuries going on, this was an opportunity for him to get games, ice time, and as you've seen some guys work up the lineup a little bit, then Jamie Benn gets healthy. You're hoping that Matt Duchene will get healthy sooner than later. And maybe those opportunities won't be as easy to come by. And that's tough when you're a depth guy. He came to the camp on a PTO, made the team, earned an NHL contract, was playing very well. And it sure looked like he was favoring a knee when he left that last game he played. So wouldn't be surprised if that's what that surgery was. But you always feel for anybody that gets hurt, but especially a guy whose lineup spot is not predetermined.
Well, especially for a guy that pretty much made the team, made the lineup,
yeah.
I should say. And so for Adam, I think it's tough now because now you see other guys and the team's not missing you. I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way. You could say the same thing about Matt Duchene. They're not missing him, but they are missing him.
Yes.
But now you have to, it's not really about playing yourself back in the lineup. You're kind of sitting there with that little doll with the needles. I want someone to get hurt. You don't want to say who, but that's the only way I'm going to get a crack at it. But then as Gully says, right, Sam, he says, I don't want my guys sitting out long. I like to keep them fresh and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, with Matt Duchene, the whole dilemma there, it doesn't surprise me. The only thing that surprises me is the protocol with it. Yes, they have them cleared, but generally when you go a couple days and then a symptom, I know what the symptoms are. They come back. Normally you don't go back 2 days. You go back 7 days, 10 days, and you start all over again. But I guess it's different with Matt, and hopefully he gets back soon.
Sam, I am looking at a tweet from Kenzie Lalonde, who works for TSN, based out of Montreal, and she has a video of our very own Jake Oettinger fan walking very slowly down the stairs to get to the glass behind you. I'm sure if you look back there, you might even see a Jake Oettinger standing in full gear. But he's here today and ready for warm up and maybe to get a puck or something.
Yeah, I guess he needs to be also the fake Casey DeSmith. So when Casey starts, he gets in there. I don't know, but Jake's had some funny imitators, fans. I think it was in, what was that final game? Seattle, maybe, when Jake was backing up and there was a fan right next to him with a Stars jersey and a goalie helmet on that apparently was trying to talk to Jake the whole time. So a lot of funny imitators here tonight. But you know what is interesting to me? I'm sure Luds is going to or has already mentioned it. I didn't even put together that Brady Tkachuk was back in the lineup until yesterday. I think he played a game. The interesting part of that is because when they went to Ottawa on the previous trip, it was a physical game and without Brady Tkachuk. And this team feeds off of Brady Tkachuk. So Glenn Goaltenders was talking about how they're expecting this to be very physical right off the start. He thought they played a heavy forecheck kind of game for the first 30 minutes, and then they kind of fell off when they played in Ottawa. They need to come out ready to go because I imagine Brady is going to lead by example in the only way that he knows how, and that is the kind of player that changes your lineup.
Sam, I just reminded me, I came in here and I said to Tanner, I said, is there any chance I could slide in a little clip? Because I got a clip I forgot to tell Owen about it. But it's about Dylan Cousins and Travis Green were talking a little bit about it. We can hear it later on. Anyway, to Sam's point. So, anyway.
Yeah, Brady played 17 minutes against St. Louis, and the Senators actually fell apart in the third period. They were in control of the game against the Blues, ended up losing in regulation. But, Sam, we appreciate the insights. Keep grinding away on those injury updates, and I'll see you up in the press box in about a half an hour or so.
All right, boys. Enjoy the game.
All right, there he is, Sam Nestler, live from AAC. Let's talk about that. Do you have a clip ready to?
Well, I don't know if you want to play it now. I wasn't sure if you wanted to play it now, but since we're
let's
on
do it. We're talking about the
time?
Senators for a minute.
Well, I don't know. We got Tanner. Are we talking enough to give you time to come? Ryan, it takes him 12 minutes to find a clip when we change gears on him. So
I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Poor Ryan.
Hit it.
Second offensive unit of Dylan Cousins, Fabian Zetterlund, and Brady Tkachuk. Cousins speaking today about the impact on that line's physicality ramping up with Tkachuk returning to the lineup.
We handled the puck a lot down low. We got it around the net lots, and playing with those two guys, they're both big bodies. You can protect the puck and take it to the nets. So just try and keep it down low and let us work.
I like their line. I thought they had a lot of good looks. Obviously, Z gets one. Brady had a lot of touches around the net. I thought Cuz was a physical force last night, and they probably could have had a few more.
See, I thought, Luds, that they were going to go with Stützle, Batherson, and Tkachuk as their top line right off the hop. Maybe they felt they wanted some balance, and I know Ridley Gregg may come back today. He didn't play against the Blues, but you could easily have those two in either one of those top two left wing sides.
Well, to the little guy that was talking there in the beginning, I was listening. I don't know what his name is, but anyway, he looks like a little guy to me. Maybe he's not. But he had said I listened to him on the way in also from Ottawa, and they said that he did not skate yesterday. So they didn't think he didn't. Well, okay. I shouldn't say that. You know how it goes. He could be in the lineup.
Indeed.
But the point of Travis and of Cousins speaking and what they say and how they say it, it's exactly what you would expect. And they are considered they're their battery. That line is going to come out, and they're going to be a physical presence, and they're going to try to push people to the side. And I think that's the MO of this team. If there's an identity to Ottawa, it's the way that they play. Even when you look at Ottawa, the 5-on-5 stuff, I take the special teams out of it. They're even with Dallas in some categories, 5-on-5 from goals for, goals against, and there's a lot of things that there's even areas of the game that they're a little bit better in just by numbers wise. Doesn't mean they're a better team, but their MO to play against this team today, meaning the Dallas Stars, will be try to push some of those better players out of the fight if they can.
Senators are on a season-long 7-game road trip. This is game 6. They're 3-2 in the first 5. They finish against Montreal in a couple of days on Tuesday.
That's the tough one because it's not
Time
5
zone.
or 6 because you've played 4 games. Now you played the 5th game. Tonight's their 6th game on the road. It's the 7th game because home is right around the corner.
They're
that's
in
the
Montreal. I mean, they're literally in the backyard almost.
A lot of things around the corner there. But they won't be staying over. They're probably going to take a bus. I don't know, whatever they do. They're only a couple hours from there. But
yeah, I wonder if they'll fly back tonight after the game and then travel to Montreal tomorrow.
I would
Might
think
go
they-
straight
I
there.
would think they're going right there. But
Yeah.
then, sometimes the game dictates that. You guys have a good game, we'll take you to Montreal, and they'll give you a little rope. Not a lot of rope, just enough to hang yourself with. But, I don't know what their travel is. In today's game, travel's so great. But anyway, that's kind of the MO of this team. And again, they've got their guy that carries the flag into battle is back, and he'll be all wired up. And the Tkachuks are, from the dad down, I think they enjoy more playing on the road than they do at home.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the villains when they go in there, and they relish that.
Well, they all 5 games of their road trip so far, this, as we said, is number 6 tonight, has been 1-goal games. They either won, lost, or shootout, which they beat Vegas, but they're 3-2. Every single one has been by only a single goal. So you remember the Stars were doing that for a long time until they had that big game in Montreal, coincidentally enough, where you finally had a a kind of a breather in the third period. They haven't had that for a while.
The big thing for these guys, I think, and they're when you look at their goal or the penalties that they take, they're even as many as they take and give up. But that will be a key, I think, for Travis Green, because when you play this Dallas team, we believe that we can beat this team the longer we stay 5-on-5.
Yeah, and their penalty kill's not been good.
Yeah, we can't. Well, nobody's been good against Dallas.
No,
so it doesn't
but
really
even
matter.
in general, Ottawa hasn't been great.
But they want to stay out of the box. And again, they're averaging about 10 minutes a night, and Dallas doesn't need 10 minutes a night to get at least one power play goal.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about a lot of Stars stuff as we get you rolling here for Stars Senators. The pregame show continues here on DLLS.
Man, I'm assuming that face-off collection is done with now?
No.
It's still on?
No.
Oh. Well, then here's the face-off collection, and I'm guessing, I'm going out on a limb here. Yes, the green shirt is here and the black one, so they're still here. They haven't changed them. I thought maybe they would change them. Tanner's trying to change them. He's changing the screen on me.
Well,
here.
don't forget,
that was an
lads,
accidental click.
we still have a sale going on.
I know, but it's up to 90% off, right? That's a Black Friday thing. But Black Friday is gone. Holy balls.
No, you had it. It was there.
Well, it's not me. It's the guy in the control booth up there. But so we do have the Black Friday thing, don't we? Is it still 90% up to 90% off? I should say 30 to 90% off. Is that the deal?
I brought.
Oh, so you went and bought a shirt?
No. This is one I own. I brought my 16-bit Mike Madonna shirt today. I'll wear it for the post-game show. But Black Friday is still going on, lads.
What is
Cyber
today?
Monday.
Today's Sunday.
So they have.
How can Black Friday be going on?
Because there's a Cyber Monday sale, and it's basically going from Friday all the way through Monday. Well, guess what? Remember that little
No, I don't.
challenge that GM Ben?
Oh, I do remember something about shirts. We were down.
We're
41.
23 now.
We're down to 23 to go.
Yeah.
What happens if we sell 20 or they buy them?
Because we did very well with the face-off collection shirts.
Okay.
He's going to give us one. We picked one out. We did. I believe you picked the green one.
We went through this before.
Yes.
I did.
Yes.
I would like the
and because of the size, we had to wait a little longer before it gets sent to us. But
because it's a man size.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
Instead of Sam's Gilligan size. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. He said if from the start of the day, I think it was our show Friday, because we didn't have a show Thursday, it was Thanksgiving, until Monday, if we could get 50 Dallas DLS hockey shirts, he'd get us the other face-off, the black one.
Really?
Well, we're down to 23 to go. So we're closing in. We're past the halfway point.
Come on, folks, get off your wallet.
Help us out. Save some money. They're all 30% off at least with our Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale.
Could we bump it up to 40% off? Do we not have? We can't make that call.
I don't think we have that.
We can't
power.
make that call.
We can ask. But
Ben,
I don't
are
think
you
it's
listening?
Go anywhere. But by the way, before we get back to our pregame show, don't forget as well, the Supporters Club is very much available in addition to our Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale. So if you would like a really fancy little badge, which I know Harry really loves those badges, but you really stand out in the chat. This is a YouTube thing. Sign up to Supporters Club. You get additional emojis that nobody else gets. And of course, you get the badge. And it looks great, and it helps you stand out when you're watching all the Stars shows on YouTube, pregame, postgame, regular pods. But it also works for all the DLS shows. So we're talking Mavericks, we're talking Cowboys, and Rangers as well. Even the Wings. You should hit those up. So check out the link that Tanner just put in the chat. That's how you can get your all DLS hockey shirts. And of course, don't forget to sign up to be a Supporters Club member. All right, lads, let's get into some clips here because we have a lot to talk about. I want to start with something Mikko Rantanen said post-game. Rantanen was talking about, or was asked, I think Sam actually asked the initial question about where the team's systems progress has gone through 25 games. Here's what Mikko said after winning over Utah on Friday night.
Yeah, for sure. Early in the year, that was kind of what we were not doing at all, playing a full 60. And now we feel like we snap out of bad moments quicker, I would say. Now it's maybe 5 minutes we kind of hemmed in, and then we figure out, and then we turn the scale again. So it's been better for sure.
What was the key to that for you guys? Has there been one or two things that you kind of started to figure out?
I think we talked about it enough with the group. Coaches talked about it. I think we understood what to do when teams are pushing. Maybe it's simplify the game a little bit. Lay a couple more pucks in and try to get one back in the forecheck, and that's what we're doing now. Maybe we didn't do that earlier in the year.
What do you think about what Mikko had to say?
Well, the last part kind of reminds me of something. It was get a couple more pucks in and things like that. I think Mikko's had a couple turnovers in some areas entering the zone. He's so good at it. Generally, he gets in there. But I think he just ran through a little stint. And I remember distinctly a couple of the other night. I'm like, you had someone you could have dished that off to. And I think for great players, they feel that they can, and he's been, I think he's been getting away with a few that I think if you played him a little bit differently, they may be turnovers for him. But again, other teams are getting up and where they're supposed to be now too. So the coverage gets a little bit better. But I think that's kind of what he's talking about, that kind of territorial time. We can spend more time in that zones. Because right now, they're doing a lot on the power play, right? I mean, again, they should. And, you got an extra guy out there. So I think what they're looking at is some of those little details will allow them to spend more time in the offensive zone 5-on-5.
Yeah, I mean, think about the comment we talk about. They haven't played a full 60. Early in the season, that was mentioned a lot. Mm-hmm. Well, you're not going to dominate teams for 60 minutes. So how can you, when the other team starts to get you stuck in your zone, or you're trying to break out and you're not getting through the neutral zone, how do you stem that tide and reverse the trend mid-game? And Mikko's saying we're better at shortening that length of time.
Well, yeah, and I think what you have to do is you've got to be able to work from zone to zone to zone, and you take what's given to you. And there's times when they've tried to squeeze some plays. They try to squeeze plays out of their zone, where maybe it's just a chip and a guy that's ultimately coming to the wall to pick it up, and the same thing happens in the neutral zone, where they like to go cross ice. And again, they can do that. And there's a lot of teams you're going to want. And tonight's team is one of them. They're a straight line kind of team, right? You won't see as much east-west hockey out of this, but I think what happens, here's the big thing that happens, is when Colin Blackwell, go back about a month or so ago, when you see the best players on your team making these kind of plays, you sometimes fall into that trap. And you just have to be reminded, hey, good idea, but that you're not going to complete that pass percentage-wise as many times as them top 5 guys are. So you guys have to do it a different way.
Let's talk about the defense. And in that regard, because the other night you and I were, I think, rightly complimenting the defensive play overall, especially with the injuries. Now, they get Lyubushkin back tonight, but this was Glenn Gulutzan after the game on Friday talking about his defensive depth.
We're playing good defensive hockey, and we've got a couple defensemen out. We've got a couple young guys in here that are doing a marvelous job of helping us. And, it's good experience for Bish and Petro. They're logging lots of minutes, and they're doing a heck of a job. And Capo and Coley are doing a great job. So, Miro and Lindy speak for themselves. So, they're that early maybe adversity, grind, injuries in the beginning has helped us stay strong through this part of it.
The good news about the defensemen, and I can use an example with our U18 players that would go and play the next level, and they may only go there for a game or two and they kind of get their feet wet and then they come back, and you'll ask them, how was it? Now they're going to tell you it's easy, it's easier, and you would think, well, you're moving up a level, but the thing is the players at the next level are in the right places quicker where they're supposed to be. So you can, as an outlet, they're right there. I think that helps these guys. I mean, it helps Coco Cabana and Kolachuk and Koliana. Kolachuk, I'm going to call him Coley. Coley, Coco Cabana, and Petro. So those are my guys.
You're doing
so
great.
We talk about those 3 guys. They just distribute the puck to the right people, and it's easy that way. And so they play an easy game. And I think when it goes to Coco Cabana now, for me, I think what he's doing now, he's getting a little bit of encouragement from probably the coaching staff to get up and let's run. Because I think that's what he did. I went and looked today. I mean, he played in Arizona. That's where he was drafted. He played like 54 games there. He had 59 points in those 50. So he was an offensive guy. And now I think they're giving him a little bit more rope to kind of run and just pick the right place in the right time. But I think those 3 guys that he's talking about in general, they're doing the little things. And right now you can plug and play whoever it is.
Here's Glenn Gulutzan after the game against Utah talking about Kolyachonok and Capobianco.
You can't bring guys in here. They're going to play minutes for you and then try to put a lasso on them. you got to let them play to their strengths and try to give them some confidence, both Coley and Capo, to just go do your thing within our framework. And I thought they've done a really good job with that. And you can see, they're starting to feel more and more comfortable as games go by. So, but it's important you don't, try to change them. They're at this level for a reason, and you just try to make them work within the scope of what you're trying to do.
You like the nicknames?
Yeah, well, Coco and Coley. That's a little bit easier for me.
Yeah.
Coco's, I think, is a monkey, though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it was a gorilla. Yeah, Coco.
Yeah, no, Tanner, that's kind of what I do here. Timing's never good with it. But you know what? Like, for those two guys, here's the one thing I would say about Coley. I would like to see him be a little bit more physical.
He's a good skater.
He's a good skater. I get that, and he can close on people. I'd like to see him finish. But that's just a little tiny thing for me. That's what generally a bottom pair does. They're not an offensive-minded pair, generally, the bottom six.
But what about Capobianco? Because he clearly has that. He gets in on the forecheck the other night and creates a goal because of it.
That's what I meant, is he's got some confidence now. But that's why I don't think you can have two of those guys down there that are those kind of players.
Yeah, you want somebody to complement
especially for Coco, because he's the guy that's kind of leaning forward, right? Because that's more his game. So, but again, what they're doing right now, I think it'll be different for him tonight. Even though that Ottawa's on the road, I think it's going to be a little bit more pressure, a little more physical play in their own zone and along the walls, and to make sure that they get pucks out when they first get them.
Okay, I'm going to, Tanner, I want to jump to video number 5, because Jake's not starting, so we're not going to talk about his play. But he did have an interesting comment before Friday's game about the standings and where they're at Thanksgiving, that even though we're past Thanksgiving, I think this shows, Ludslow's constantly say, you haven't done anything yet. You haven't made the playoffs. You just want to try not to knock out. But there is something about having a good standing at this time of year.
We love where we're at, I think. I mean, every team, I feel like if you're not in the playoffs right now, you're not like, we're screwed. But like, I just feel like I said a few weeks ago, like I think it was my first year, we were like grinding all year to make the playoffs, and that takes so much out of you. Like, you feel like you play like, 25 playoff games in a row, because the last 25 games are feel like every game is so big. And, the last 3 years to get off to a great start, and then you just, not that you don't stress, but you just play well the whole year, and you don't have to you're not fighting for your life at the end of the season is such a nice thing to have. So I think, we love the way we've started, and if we continue to play like we have, I think we'll be in that situation again, hopefully. And I think it just takes a lot of mental taxing off, and then you can go into playoffs fresh, because you feel like you haven't been playing playoff games for the last 2 months.
When he first started talking, the first thing I was thinking of, it's mentally draining when you're in that 6, 7, 8, 9 spot all year long, and you're fighting back and forth. Every game means so much, and anytime you can build a little bit of a buffer for yourself, and you don't know, but there's generally going to be a period here coming up where you may only win 3 of 6 games or 3 of 7 games, and hopefully that never happens. But if it does, you've got that little bit of leeway that you can, catch up, and it's not going to be life or death that you didn't win a couple games in a row.
Tanner, do you have the line chart, the forward group for the Stars? If you wouldn't mind throwing that up there, you can see that the group's going to be the same. There is some debate about who's the first line. Is it the Hintz line? Is it the Rantanen?
They got 2 of them. There's no debate.
I don't think it matters who goes first. But they've
got 5 of the top.
They've got a
5 of those
6.
6 guys are on the first power play, for God's sake. So they got 2 top lines right there,
and they've been really carrying the offensive load. But you get contributions from everything. Now look at the defense as you see Lyubushkin coming back in. He'll play with Capobianco. Do you like that? You just talked about with Kolyachonok maybe not having as much physicality. Does Lyubushkin give that compliment to Capobianco?
Yeah, and I think for Coco there, he can take advantage of that skating ability and jump up and follow the rush a little bit more, because I think that you've got a veteran guy playing next to you now that's played a lot of NHL games. He's got a physical presence to him. He plays well in his end for the most part. That's what he's supposed to be. You can push a little bit more. And I would think Elaine would say, listen, now you're not playing with a young player, so to speak. Like, you got a veteran guy there. If you want to, follow the play up. And I think Lyubushkin knows that if there's an opportunity for one of those 2 guys to jump, it'll be his partner, not him.
Would you like to see the wrong lines for Ottawa?
I can't wait.
Okay, so let's see the forwards for the Senators, because this is what we thought might be the case with Tkachuk going on the top line. But as you mentioned, he's playing with Dylan Cousins and Fabian Zetterlund on the second line. Ridley Gregg is returning from an injury that made him miss the last 5 games, but he's not playing up there on the top 6. In fact, they're going to have Lars Eller play on the left side with Stützle and Batherson. Amadio, Pinto, and Giroux is the third line. That was the line they had in St. Louis the other night. And so their fourth line is going to be Nick Cousins, Ridley Gregg centering, and Perron on the right. I'll tell you what, Luds.
That's a good fourth line.
Pretty balanced.
I don't think that's a fourth
group.
line. That's just how we're putting them on paper.
Correct.
Yeah. There is some balance there. When you get a couple guys back and Green, the head coach, is able to spread some guys out. And again, he's doing it in pairs again, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to give you a little physicality on one side and a little more thinking, stay at home a little bit for my two wingers. I'm going to be the guy high, let them two guys enter the zone, and so things like that.
Let's go to the other side, the defense and goaltending for the Senators. They are missing one of their big weapons in Thomas Chabot, who's out injured right now. But Clevin is going to play.
That's with a B, right? Not an R.
Who?
Chabot.
Yes.
That's the one. It's a Chabot, not the Sherratt.
That's right.
I had that confused last year.
Yes, not Ben Sherratt.
I think I was talking about Sherratt, but it was really Chabot.
One plays for Montreal, one plays for Ottawa.
Yeah, I think I had the R's and the B's mixed up.
As you see, Clevin will play. There were some questions. He blocked a shot with his hand the other night. They called up a guy from the AHL, but Clevin's going to go. He'll play on that second pairing. I love Jake Sanderson.
I will say you don't block shots with your hand.
It's not a good idea,
it
right?
It hits your hand.
Okay.
You're not purposely out there going, let me catch that one. Sometimes dumb people, they kind of react softball-wise.
Luds, we have 2 super chats we have to finish with.
Oh, nice.
Let's start with Burned Oils, a Darian Hatcher and Year After the Cup. Does Luds use cocoa butter to keep his fists so shiny?
I have used cocoa butter before. It's good for you.
And then GM Ben with a DeSmith and a 99 Cup here. Final hours of the up to 90% off. He just wants us to finish on a strong note for the
What does it mean,
show.
final hours? How many hours would that be? Is that till Monday night at midnight? Or
I think so.
Is that what it is?
I mean, you could ask
Got to be
GM Ben.
clearer, Ben.
We are done for now, but boy, we have a lot to go. He said, mark that. I don't even know what you said that was so funny. Maybe the cocoa butter thing?
What happened?
I don't know. Somebody wants you to mark that.
Mark that?
Something you said.
Oh, boy. Is there something about...
Probably a drop in there.
Is it another innuendo that
I missed
didn't
it,
mean
unless
to do?
It's the cocoa butter.
Yeah, it had to have been. So anyway, we'll be back for the full post-game show. Stars and Senators is about to get started over at American Airlines Center. Check it out at Victory Plus. And we'll be back with Sam reporting in after the game tonight. And who knows what Luds and Tanner will have cooked up for you when I come back from the second intermission. We hope to see you for postgame right here on DLLS.
Cooking with cocoa butter.
We all silly like the mayor.